Hey.
There we go. Simcha Leiner in the studio. Did that voice sound familiar to you or not?
It did not.
Okay, that was from a group entitled Judah Blue that came out probably in the early 2000s.
Cool.
And here's what you don't know. That was Shlomo Geisen.
Really? Oh, that I knew.
Shlomo Geisen.
Let me tell you a little story about
Zusha.
Shlomo Geisen.
Yes.
Shlomo and I farbring together Simchas Torah night this past Sukkot.
So that was in Eretz Yisrael.
On the rooftop of the David Citadel Hotel.
Wow.
Till 2:30 in the morning, talking about absolutely nothing, but I enjoyed it so much. So Shlomo, if you're listening,
we got to do it again.
Stay holy.
So Simcha Leiner just walked into the studio as mentioned. He said he was going to call in or try to stop by. Simcha Leiner is here. We got the albums. Maybe we'll Instagram soon. We got the albums. Insta story. These beautiful white albums with the gold stamping. Simcha Leiner, Kol Hakavod. And I just saw that Simcha Insta story about this amazing stand that's already in Gourmet Glatt South here in Lakewood, New Jersey, which we checked out yesterday by the grand opening. Ribbon cutting. Did you see that ribbon cutting?
I was there actually the night before.
Yeah, I was wondering, and I know they made El Chaim the night
That's
before.
right. I came to deliver the goods.
Leiner Records, huh? That's the new Simcha Leiner Records. So Simcha, talk to us. Brand new album, brand new record label, brand new. I mean, from what I see, you also said you're going to be planning 3 music videos. So you're really hitting the ground running with this album.
Definitely. This has been a labor of love. Something I've been working on for about 2 weeks now, this album. And Baruch Hashem, we got it. No, I'm joking. It's been about a year in the making. This has been sort of a special album for me. As you see, it was produced by myself. Sort of what I've been trying to get out there for a while now, and this was a chance to do it on my own. And this is testament to the style, the sound, the feel that I was hoping to deliver on. And I think a couple people told me they actually enjoyed it.
Only a couple.
So far.
You're saying a year. It's funny, because Antu Zon, I think you had longer than a year ago.
That's true. Antu Zon was a song that I had prepared to go onto my last album, Moroccan.
Right.
And we actually did an arrangement for it with Shlomi Salzman.
Mm-hmm. Who sends regards and says that he knows he owes you $50.
He does owe me $50.
I don't know
but
what
I told
it's
him
about.
to keep it as a wedding present.
I don't know what that's about, but he said, I'm listening to the entire show, send Simcha regards. And I know he does. I think he did a song on
He did
on
a
the
full
show
arrangement, one full arrangement, and a lot of other, he contributed very, very highly to the album as well. He's part of Sonic Duo with Mendy Hershkowitz, who was basically this album was produced by myself, Yossi Waldner, and Mendy Hershkowitz. And he was heavily involved in the production. So what we're talking, yes, Antu Zon, because we always start from track 11.
That's right.
We had an arrangement, and the song is so big, as I would say, that we just didn't feel it was actually last minute. We decided to hold off on it because either you go big, as you hear on this album, which is a 62 or 63 piece orchestra plus a choir, or you just don't do it.
So it was funny. A listener contacted me the other day, and they were like, why is it when Simcha did his previous Chazanis track, he sounded more like Chazanis?
Well, they're different style songs.
Right.
That's no question.
I mean, do you agree with that statement? Or
I do.
Okay.
I happen to be a big proponent of singing Chazanis a little bit softer. I feel like a lot of the heavy Chazanis that you hear, it's people imitating some other Chazanim's voices, not necessarily singing it the way that they would sing it. So, for me, I find that unnecessary. But again, I'm just a humble low singer. So this was just the way I approached it.
So the fact that it doesn't say Chazan Simcha Leiner Kol Hakavod, you're saying that you're
exactly
just, okay. And of course, the beautiful dedication there to Sherwood Goffin, who you had a very close relationship with.
Right.
But this album is just, the Simcha Leiner that we've come to know, the guy that released the Kol Barama all those years ago and kind of started his own career before he hooked up with a well-known producer. That guy is now onto, I guess, the next level of his career.
Yeah, everything, it's a staircase.
Simcha Leiner 1, 2, Live in Odessa, the project relaxes, and now it's the new Simcha Leiner.
What is the end game, right? That's what we got to think about. What is the end game?
I don't think anybody really thinks about the end game. I think they're always thinking about what's now and just immediately next.
Right. I think so many people are thinking about what the end game is that this is a stepping stone, and I think that's wrong. I agree with what you were saying. You have to look at the now. What do people want now?
Right.
What do I want now? You know? And that's really how this album came to be. It's a very present album. In 2 years, you might listen back and I might say, what was I thinking?
Right.
I highly doubt it, because we're still playing Kol Barama. But
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Now, the one thing that's very prominent in your album is the Israeli stuff. I mean,
no, I'm gonna disagree with you.
Really?
Yes. Compare this album with most of the albums that have been put out in the past year or two.
I'm not comparing it to other people. I'm comparing it to you.
So there is, I believe, a total of 3 songs that have Ivrit on this album.
But they're 3 in a row.
No.
Kol Hakavod.
Yeah.
Harbe Nachat.
Yeah.
And Basi.
No, Basi is from Tefillah.
Basi's from Tefillah? I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
it's from Hineni, from the Chazen's.
So it's Leor?
Leor.
Leor.
There are 3 songs out of 11, which, in my opinion, is a very modest amount of Ivrit.
Definitely
and
is.
It's palatable. I find that people have a hard time, connecting to too much Hebrew. I feel like in Israel, the Hebrew that we produce here is somewhat cheesy to them.
It
so
is.
who are we trying to appeal to, besides our,
No, I agree with you. But, when you listen to Harpe Nachot, I'm like I was expecting, I'd expect this from like an Omer Adam or, somebody.
Yeah. But if you look, the people that are behind the song are the people that are behind those songs. This song was the wild card for me now. In Israel, this is the song that's being played the most.
So you're saying you were most worried about this bit with the Hebrew language and everything?
So, no, I was most unsure of where this would fall, what demographics this is going for, and this is a song that the radio stations in Israel are requesting more information about.
Interesting.
Which is interesting because Kol Hakavod is the clear, the song of the album.
Because it's funny, I was listening to the album, I'm listening to the 3 Hebrew tracks, and I'm like, I think Kol Hakavod was, you really...
We built the album around the song.
I connect... Not that I don't connect with the other 2 Hebrew songs, but over here I feel more like there's a closer bridge between the American artist Simcha Leiner and the song.
Interesting.
Could be I'm wrong. But also I see Tamir Tzur, Mashiach arranged both tracks, both Kol Hakavod and
I would have given them more had I known what this would sound like.
Now, when you were working on getting the songs, where did Kol Hakavod fall in? Was it the first track, or was it somewhere down the line?
It was not the first track. Kol Hakavod, so this album was approached very different than the traditional album. The traditional album is it's like years-long processes, years-long of just, I find wasting time and sitting around.
Demo after demo after demo after demo.
Exactly.
After demo.
This album was approached as a full-time job would be approached. What I mean by that is...
Let me give it my undivided attention for a good period of time.
For 3 to 4 months, every day.
An hour a day for a year and a half.
9 to 5. I would go in with Yossi Waldner or others, and every day I'd bring them a sketch. I'd bring them something I had in mind. So, for L'cha,
right,
an idea for a concert song, that has to have a drive, simple, with certain words that I brought in, ba, 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 part of a song that was already written out in my head.
Okay.
We sat and we wrote that song and we finished the song that day. Moved on to the next song. That's it. Other songs have different stories to them. Kol Hakavod has a fascinating story behind it.
By the way, let me interrupt you. You're saying about L'cha. L'cha still has that feel for me of like a Va'at Tamarim or like a Mimi. It's a very... I don't know if that's your... I don't want to call it a signature thing.
Well, it's a rock. A little bit more of a rock.
Is that what it is? It's
Va'at Tamarim is more of a disco. It's a different style, but it's a feel-good, uplifting, happy song, and that's that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about.
And this, of course, was done by L'cha was arranged by Vlad by Playmaster Studios,
who, by the way, played every single instrument on the track. Besides, actually, you know what? I stand corrected. We added a horn section last minute, which was played by Danny Flom. But the bass, guitar, drums, keys, synths, all that stuff was played.
And Vlad is part of Neshama's band. What's it called?
He is part of Chroma. Yes, he's the drummer in the Chroma band. So incredibly talented.
Yeah, so that's very cool. So that's L'cha. So you came into Yossi Waldner. You had a concept, and you banged out the song.
And I had parts of a song written.
So you're saying this was one day?
This was one afternoon. Yeah.
Now Kol Hakavod.
Okay, Kol Hakavod is a little bit more of a complex story.
Happens to be, by the way, I have to compliment you. It's a very unique title. And it's something that everybody...
It's shocking that it hasn't been used before. Put it that way.
It's something people use very frequently, in more yeshiva circles, I would say. All of the, Kol Hakavod, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a catchphrase, technically. I guess I would phrase it.
So, Kol Hakavod. The song was... I had an itch to use these words, Kol Hakavod, for years. Never fell into place. Never, By the way, people are listening now. This is live?
Yes.
Yeah, let me hear. If you're listening, clap your hands. Okay, so there are a couple of your neighbors listening. Okay, good. Just making sure because I don't want to, if I get into the nitty gritty, we want to make sure that we don't.
Nitty gritty.
So basically, yes, as I was saying.
And he's in Israel.
Oh, nice.
And he just emailed
me. This concept of Kol Hakavod has been on my mind for many years, and I did a Siyum Hashas with a friend of mine someone who I became friends with named Isaac Hidary. He's a Syrian fellow.
I see he composed the lyrics to the song. Or he wrote
and he was telling me about, that he loves, music and writing lyrics and stuff. I said, something? I've been working on this concept, Kol Hakavod. Why don't you send me a sketch for Kol Hakavod, using these lyrics? I told him a concept. Basically, I got back a song, like a Syrian song, Kol Hakavod. He actually wrote like a whole track.
So he wrote a melody. He didn't just give you words. Yeah. Interesting.
So I then forwarded that song on to Yossi. Mm-hmm. I sent him 2 things in WhatsApp. I sent him the lyrics and I sent him the song. I was taking off on the way to LA, and the network on the phone cut out right after the lyrics sent, but the song didn't send. I land in LA and I get a voice note from Yossi that said, I just wrote the most unbelievable song of my career. Mm-hmm. And he sent me a voice note with this song, that you hear. Kol Hakavod,
you gave him no references? Because that was my next question.
Well, I gave him a style that I enjoyed.
There had to have been a
no, we
reference.
were working on things previously.
Because I don't care if you say Mordechai Shapiro, Benny Friedman, or Davidi. He's never wrote anything like this.
No, because we were definitely looking to fill this void. Basically, about a half hour later, I get a text. I don't understand. Why'd you just send me this weird song using the words that I just wrote a whole song to? So sometimes if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But
for me, it's not just the arrangement, the melody, the phrasing.
Oh, this is a masterpiece.
The phrasing
this song
is so unique.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime song, and I will sing it till I'm blue in the face.
Now, with phrasing like this, do you find, you're just in Israel, I'm assuming you performed 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. I think my niece said she was at your concert, the United Solo concert. She said you sang a song. She was by here Shabbos. I don't remember which song it was, though.
We did L'cha and Kol Hakavod.
And was this...
This was a very, very big...
Perform?
No, because you know what it is? The album it wasn't even out yet.
Right. You got the boxes in America.
That's right.
But it was not out in Israel because it hit here. They hit Israel the same time as it hit here, which was over the weekend.
Yes. So that was an unbelievable experience to perform it live there. And I had just freshly recorded it, so it was still very clean in my mind. Mm-hmm. And it was a pleasure to do live.
So I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask this. When you performed this in Israel, were you using the audio tracks of the arrangement, or did they have the full orchestra playing out actual arrangements?
Both. Today's shows are very comprehensive. There's a million tracks running with effects and sounds and cool stuff that live instruments can't duplicate.
Right.
Plus full arrangements,
By the way, how was the show?
It was amazing.
How was Israel? You were extremely busy. I saw, I don't know, Menachem Tucker had some kind of fire on his show. They had a cooking demo or something.
Israel was non-stop. Yeah, I give it up to my wife and kids for holding on, barely holding on.
I think your parents were there too, right?
My parents were in Israel too. Yeah, as well as my some of my siblings were there too. Mm-hmm.
Now, so was this? I mean, you did a full PR run for the album, or is it too early for you to do that?
So we did most of the PR for the album. A lot of it was pre-recorded, and then will be released over the next 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Good. I think it's very smart. Simcha Leiner with us live in studio talking about the release of his latest album, Kol Hakavod. We're going to do the tracks one by one to get a little bit of a feel of what was going on with the album and what he was doing. I see listening to the Bradley Next Israel just said I've been loving Simcha Leiner's new album. Listened to it about 5 times last week. Rise Up is my favorite. Caught my ear immediately in the sampler. But every song is unique. He managed to cover so many genres, all of them done to perfection. All the arrangements and the music on the album is spectacular, from the full orchestra to the complete electronic. I was also at the Yeshiva Shir. So this, okay, let's stop a second.
Sure.
Yeshiva Shir it seems like it's an event that Yorli Dickman does every year.
Yes.
And it was in Yanei Oma.
It was Yanei Oma the day after the Hatzalah show.
So this was Friday.
So Thursday night was the Hatzalah show. Friday late morning, which I couldn't believe they got 3,500 Bachram out of bed
Barry was
at
doing
11
the
o'clock
show.
in the morning. No, it was a circus act.
Oh, it was a circus act.
There were
it wasn't just Barry.
7 or 8 singers. But I was the surprise because I was not allowed to be out there for, advertised if I was doing a show the night before.
Oh, because of
Hatzalah. It's just, you don't want to detract from it.
Right.
Yeah.
And how surprised were they?
They were definitely surprised. I wouldn't say like fainting in their seats. But, yeah.
And you did old stuff or you did new stuff?
So I did medleys of old stuff and 2 new songs, yeah.
That seems to be the new style, and I happen to like that a lot. That people are the songs that they don't usually perform because you can't perform so many songs in a concert. They're throwing a lot of the stuff that they wouldn't normally perform in a medley.
Right. So medleys, I feel like, are a way to, satisfy people, many different tastes. Mm-hmm. Or, people come to the show, they have... I do about 40 shows a year across the world. To me, I did Pischili or Kol Barama or Ribono 39 times before that.
Right.
But to the person that came to the show, this is their first time to hear it live. They want to hear it. And I can assure you that listening to music live in concert is a different... it's a different experience. It's nothing like listening to an album.
Right.
You've been to a couple concerts in your lifetime, and you can attest to the fact that most of us singers are proud of our performances rather than our
And it's
recording.
funny because the performances are never perfect because, you
don't want them to be perfect.
No, but
you don't want it to be mechanical. You want it to be
emotional. But that's surprised at because you might get an extra harmony and extra heightened vocal, something that they didn't do on the album. Harbe Nachot. This also, you have that speech part right before the high part.
That's Yitzi Waldner's voice, actually.
That is Yitzi's?
It is Yitzi Waldner's voice.
That's very interesting.
I recorded it as well, but I guess I was vetoed.
The question was the Yitzi's vocal recorded in the Simcha Leiner studio or in the Yitzi Waldner studio?
Good question. Teku.
Yeah. So you said this song was something that is taking off very much in Israel.
Yeah.
Concept of the song, you or just Yitzi?
So every song on this album, besides for Basi and Shir Chadasha, were my idea / layout. So I would come to a composer and say, I have a partial song.
Right.
You're the professional. Finish it.
So Eli Schwab told me this the other day.
Yeah. So a good example would be Rise Up.
Right.
Rise Up is a song that I've been itching to do for years as well. That style. I call it a call to action song. Get up, do something, change the world, right?
Yeah.
And I even had an idea of it. I had a beat in mind. I had a style in mind. I had a basic chord progression in mind. And I said, Ellie's the type of guy that's a little bit more out of the box creative with his direction. So he would be the perfect guy.
His lyrics, his whole arrangement. It's funny because his demos now lately come with like an arrangement.
Sure.
That a lot of people seem to adapt very easily.
Yeah. So that was the story behind Rise Up.
Wait, so you're saying you had the idea, but you didn't tell me why. Why Rise Up? Why? Right. I mean, you had these words specifically, right?
Yeah. No, we see. Yeah, I had Hisayuri. All I gave him was Rise Up, Hisayuri. And I fit it into a little bit of a tune, but I'm saying, I don't know where to go with this. What should I do with this? Rise Up. It's such a call to action. There's this motivation. There's this drive. Do something.
You wanted the anthem-y feel to it.
Exactly.
And that was arranged by
Vlad as well.
Vlad,
right?
Wow.
Yeah. Vlad did this and Lecha.
And you were actually talking about Shir. This song, when I was in Toronto this past week and I was driving back and forth, we kept going back to this song. There's something about it. It's
It's my yeshivish song for the album.
That's what you're calling it?
Yeah.
I don't think it's yeshivish to me at all.
I did it last night at a wedding. Went over beautifully. Super easy to dance to, easy to sing.
And it surprised me because it says arranged by Shlomi Zaltzman and Sonic Duo. This is not something I'd expect to hear from them.
Well, they're great.
I'm not saying they're not
style.
great. This style is not something we've... Keep in mind, on several of the big albums that have come out, they've had one or two songs arrangements on between Malach Cohen and everybody else. So it wasn't like we heard this yet from them. Mm-hmm. Not about what their capabilities are. Sure. The demo for this song that you got from Yossi Zweig, was it... How different did the demo sound from the actual song now?
The demo was a little bit more traditional. Mm-hmm. I wanted a little bit more what they call atmospheric, a little bit more creative, open space, open-minded. But the tune was not changed. So the way Yossi Zweig wrote the song is exactly the way the song is performed. We did change the layout a little bit. Like there's a chant in there, Hashem Yimloich.
Yeah, that's also... See, that's funny. You're calling it a yeshivish song, but that part of it is like very...
bunch of bachrim screaming their
hearts out. It's like
an
Israeli, Hashem Yimloch. But I hear Yimloch. It's probably Yimloich, but I'm hearing an Israeli version of it. I don't know why. We skipped. We were in the middle of Harbe Nachat. Now we're going back to Basi. So Basi is saying is not Israeli. It's actual tefillah. It's not.
Yes.
It's
so this is from
Hebrew.
The tefillah that the Chazan on Rosh Hashanah Kippur says before he davens Musaf.
Right.
So words that I'm very well...
so this is from the Hineni.
Exactly. I'm very familiar with these words. Mm-hmm. But many other people may not be.
A lot of shows, they don't do it out loud. The Chazan says it quietly.
Most shows today, these words are said. Right. But it's a beautiful, beautiful song that I have... I've had the honor to be holding on to for a while. Not too long.
This says Shlomi Derechness. Was this from Shir volume? This was after Shir 2 that he gave it to you, or this was by Shir 1 already when he introduced you to the song?
No, it's just 7 months ago that it was sent to me. He sent it to me one night saying that he thought he actually gave this to me as a gift. This song is a gift after we had a very interesting discussion about something, and yeah.
Interesting. And this, of course, was arranged by Mendy Hirschkowitz and Shlomi Zaltzman, also by Sonic Duo. Now, when you're saying the album was produced by Yitzi, Mendy, and wait, who was the third individual?
Myself.
And yourself. What does that mean to people?
So
producing
I split
means producing tracks, or does it mean the whole album?
Right.
People
So
see produced by an album,
exactly.
they assume it's...
The album was produced by me. Mm-hmm. What that means is that all creative control, from the way the cover looks to the way how long the songs are, to what instrumentation on the songs, to the order of the songs, to picking the compositions, to all that was done by me. Under that comes the next step where
individual song production.
Individual songs are given and allocated to certain people to just be in charge of. There's so much coordination and logistics that has to be taken into consideration, and this album was split up in a unique way between Yitzi and Mendy, and I'm sure if you look through the cover, it becomes very apparent that Mendy is one of the foremost orchestral arrangers alive today. Mm-hmm. Jewish, non-Jewish, I don't care what you say. You listen to an arrangement like La'ar or Basi or Antuzan, and if you're not blown away by the scope of the music, this was recorded with a 65-piece orchestra in one room, like live. This is just a different... It's like
not like they do it nowadays where the guitars are separate and the drums
Well, it's not like they do it where... previous albums of mine had, 4 violinists recording 10 times to get a string section. Right. This is a string section. We're talking 42 violinists in a room.
And he has them on screen and he's conducting them.
Yes, and there's a conductor there. There's an actual conductor. I'm going to put out some behind-the-scenes footage, hopefully in the next week or so. You'll be able to see this. But the sound you get is incomparable. It sounds like a Disney soundtrack.
Yeah, it definitely does. Simcha Leiner with us via telephone, talking about the release by telephone in the studio. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm
pinching myself. I think I'm here.
Clap if you're in the room, Simcha. No, there we go. Talking about the release of his latest album, Kol Hakavod. Now, this tracks I think surprised me the most on your album.
Shema Yisrael.
It wasn't the arrangement; it was the words, because they're typical. I mean, I'm not saying there's 1,000 Shema Yisraels out there, but Shema Yisrael
right. So there actually aren't.
There's like 4, I think, maybe. If anything.
I'm sure we can come up with an exact list, but it's not as many as you think.
No, but they're not words people like. There's certain words people don't like to throw into songs.
I found that
I guess when Eli
Shema Yisrael is a...
when Eli Gerstner put out like a Baruch Shem with the Chevra or something, people are like, "Are you crazy? We don't, like we say those words only, allowed once a year or twice a year. It's not something." But
Shema Yisrael is an anthem.
Yeah, it is.
Bottom line is, it's the first words that my kids knew. It's the first words that any from Jew really knows. Why not use that as a banner? Use it as something to sing about. It's beautiful.
And over here, I see you went to somebody totally new. I'm not familiar with the name Shua Socher.
Yeah, Shua Socher is actually... We'll drop some exclusives here.
Oh.
Shua Socher is my
His name is Simcha Leiner. I did it myself. No.
Shua Socher is my new musical director.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
So Shua is a producer/arranger out of LA. Mm-hmm. He will be traveling the world with me beginning the beginning of December. We are launching a...
The world is a very broad, thing, right?
We have Israel, South Africa, Europe, America, Canada. So,
oh, wow. You're really...
Yeah, we'll definitely be traveling.
Is there going to be a Simcha Leiner tour plane?
No, but there will be a U-Haul. We're going to hook it up to my minivan. No.
I want to see a nice white jet with a gold emblem on the side.
I'm in. If anyone has an extra G5 sitting around, I would love to slap the logo on it.
And Simcha will give you free tickets to every show.
Definitely.
Okay, so Kol Hakavod Tour. Where are we going to Kol Hakavod Tour?
So the Kol Hakavod Tour, the cities will be announced next week, the end of next week. The first leg, Baruch Hashem, we have... we're splitting it up into 2 legs for now. Because with more than 2 legs, you're going to probably trip. So
That's a good idea. Although tables have 4 legs, so they don't seem to have a problem.
Okay, so 2 or 4. You got to keep it an even number, otherwise it gets really awkward. The tour cities will include right off the bat. Mm-hmm. We have Miami, Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, a couple in the New York area, as well as you'll see the full list next week.
Oh, you're not giving me everything. But
it's very exciting. This is a full show that's coming to smaller communities and bigger communities around the country. This has never been done before. It's been attempted. It's never been done well. It's never been done successfully. Shua Sorsha and I have been working way too many hours a day on a fully produced show. Not, the shows of old, as we say, were silly. If they didn't have a big budget, they were just boring. You'd have a small band just playing along. It sounded like a bad wedding. Mm-hmm. These are fully produced.
Or it was like announcing 5 cities and then cutting down to 3 and then spreading them over.
These are any city that you see will happen. It's confirmed. The dates, the tickets will go on sale immediately. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of surprises at the shows. There's crowd involvement in the shows. There's building live tracks on shows. There's looping stuff, sampling on stage. That's
very cool because the looping's been a very big thing in the secular market lately.
It's a part of the music culture. I've done it once live on stage. I did it in Baltimore at the Symphony Hall.
Right.
I'm not sure if you were at that show. It was the NCSY show in Baltimore.
I believe I saw a clip online somewhere.
So this is something very, very, very special to me because my goal has always been to bring music to anyone that wants to see it. And these are communities that would not regularly get a show. We're not talking 5,000 seat venues. So you will be able to see me. You'll be able to hear me. You'll be able to interact with me. And most importantly, just experience new music, live music, new style of production. It's going to really be...
So you're saying sometimes when they do this, they do small bands. What are we looking at with any other performers, full band, not full band? Are you traveling with a band?
There will be... So Shua will be traveling with me.
Your musical director, okay.
As well as some sound, some sound crew will come with.
Lighting.
Every city will have a different level of production depending on how many people it's capable of. If we're doing a show in Cincinnati, obviously... the lighting would cost more than the whole show. So we'll have to adapt to cities individually. But it's not about the lights. I feel like lights are amazing and shows require lights and stuff like that. But if you have a good show, you don't have to distract. Lights are very distracting for the... it's great if it's a boring show.
For the audience, yeah.
But when you have a teichen...
Yeah.
You don't need the lights to make the show.
No. Like you see the shows that have pyrotechnics, it'll add to a really good fast
100%.
song.
And
but
there will be cool
won't make
things,
it,
and there will be elements of surprise, and there will be,
Are we going to see like a throwback to Yehuda
on
chick
rollerblades? I don't know if I'm going to be on
They used to give those
rollerblades.
big balls and the blow up stuff. You used to throw them into the crowd, and everybody's... I'm kidding. Simcha Leiner with us in studio talking about the release of his new album. He just made the announcement. We are the first to hear it right here, J Network Scoop Radio, Z Report, that he's going to be launching a world tour starting December with dates being announced next week, but already included are Toronto, Montreal, Chicago, the New York area, and that's
Miami,
and
LA.
Miami, and LA. Wow.
And Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto. We said.
And Toronto.
We said Toronto and Toronto.
Right.
Yes. NCSY Toronto. Are we going to do it in the Shul? Or we're going to take out the big venues? What are we going to do in Toronto? Simple.
It actually is the tour stop in Toronto is partnered with NCSY. Yes, so it will be at the major concert hall downtown. So
the last time my cousin saw you were in Toronto, I think with Baruch Levine doing a smaller show down south.
yes, that was at Shari Shemai.
So in Toronto, are you going to be doing it with a Canadian accent? That's my other question. Track 6, La'or. So you said this was the third original Hebrew track on the album.
Yes, so I had a concept for a while now that I was working with Yossi Waldner on a bracha for a parent to tell their child that they should give them as much joy and as much nachas as they had received from this child. So the concept evolved a little bit more into something that is a modernization or an update on the traditional Ilan, and that was how La'or was born.
Because I haven't had enough time to go into it, but I'm looking at the lyrics. La'or HaKochavim, by the light of the stars, B'yom Simchas Libeinu, Elohekim V'yisa Einav. You should lift up your eyes. Ona Hashem, Ona Rachum V'kabel Tefillah Shel Avim. Very interesting.
And then we go La'or Hashanim, right? Milut Kol Chayenu, Elo Habanim, right? Hem Perotenu. This is the play on.
Oh, he's back from Israel. He's doing the reishes already.
Right?
Yeah.
This is the continuation, right? And even in the high part, Shekal Nati Yotzecha, Yukamoischa, which is the from
there
the
you have
tefillah.
the Elon part of it.
So each part of the song has a reference to.
Right. So Simcha, you haven't really had much English songs in the past.
True.
If any, you had maybe possibly one on an album.
Right.
But over here, with an album titled Kol Hakavod and 3 Hebrew songs, we have not one but 2 English songs.
We actually have one English song and one song with some English in it.
Oh, because you
a
say
touch
it's
of English.
Sayuri, so it's not really.
Oh, actually no. So we have one English song,
We go on, Rise Up.
and then Rise Up and Lecha are Hebrew songs that have, I guess,
You titled
an
the song
ode.
Rise Up. You didn't title the song Sayuri.
Although there are more Hebrew words in it than there are English. Yeah, I don't know how to quantize this. So
No.
we're going to call it 2.63
Fine, there we go.
English songs on this album.
We go on. What was the concept? First of all, composed by Yossi Waldner again. This was actually produced by Daniel Kapler,
Yes.
who has done a lot of the amazing stuff till now. I see you've only used him on one track, so obviously you had different ideas. Not that I'm belittling anybody that arranged the other 2, electronic soundtrack.
Jan is the proprietor of Playmaster Studios. Daniel Kapler and Vlad work in that studio.
That's right.
So that is the way it's split up. Really depends on the style, who will excel at the style, who has time, who has the patience to work with people like me, because I'm a very, 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 very easy person to work with, and I think musicians enjoy working with people that are difficult to work with. We go on. It's a simple song with a message that's eternal, a song that will forever, unfortunately, be relevant.
So this to me sounds like a continuation of your anti-bullying song a little bit.
Really?
I don't know if
You sing as a nation?
well, you're
The
saying
anti-bull-
every day all around us, people aim to bring us down. It's
Yeah, so it's this refers to us as a nation, which is pretty
anti-Semitism is a form
exactly.
of bullying, though. I'm not,
Is it?
Yes, I'm trying to help you connect the bridge here. You're supposed to work with me, Simcha.
This is all new. We're not
We're not bridging the past.
stop
We're
bullying me here.
going over the water. I got it.
Yeah.
This song is also very unique. It's not something like people are telling me
I performed this song live once so far.
Where?
In the summer in Israel.
In Israel, out of all the places?
Yeah, but at an
American crowd
of
so
like
like
4.5.
Shemesh or something.
It was in Ranana at Ampey Park, Ranana, with about 4,000 people. Mm-hmm. It was really cool. That was sort of my proving grounds, my testing grounds for the song.
But you can't do this with a live band. It has to.
Sure,
be.
you could.
Yeah, really?
Everything has to be done today with a live band and tracks and building it out. Oh, it's just amazing. It's amazing.
So we have a listener here who wants to remain nameless. Can you please tell him that the album has an interesting sound that we're not used to? Okay. I guess that's a statement.
Well, this album has, I think, something for everyone. There's plenty on there that is not what you may have come to expect. But then again, you have to, keep moving with the times, keep things fresh, keep things updated. And there's plenty on here that people that wanted the familiar sound of Simcha Leiner, I think we've given them plenty.
Of course, we have to mention your cover and your design work. This whole logo of the Simcha Leiner. By the way, did you get a haircut before this logo? Because
I look skinny in it.
The chup is
look
like
how skinny I look in my silhouette.
The chup is like there, but it's not. But the truth is, there's no defining features. This could have been me without glasses, except for the fact that you have hair and I don't. But so we have to give a shout out to your designer. What's his name? Design in Brooklyn, right?
Yes, Yoni Weiss did a great job working with me on this. Yeah, and as you see in stores all over the place, we really turned this into an amazing branding opportunity and image, and you'll be seeing much, much, much more of this in many capacities.
So
Kol Hakavod.
Kol Hakavod, Simcha, Kol Hakavod. Okay, fine. I wanted to just discuss Eitz Chaim because we did touch upon Riseup and
Shir Chadasha.
And Shir Chadasha.
Eitz Chaim was a song that I wrote in honor of a friend of mine, Ari Pearl, who lives in Hollywood, Florida. He had made a Siyum Hashas as well, I believe.
Wow,
a lot of this album...
Is the second Siyum Hashas you went to? Wow.
Is the second Siyum Hashas that a song was born out of. Do you realize that?
So what's going to be born on January 1st,
exactly.
2020?
January 1st, I will be performing at the Siyum Hashas in Miami, Florida.
That's very nice.
While all of you guys are sitting outside, freezing your shoulders off in MetLife Stadium.
Excuse me, it is 60 degrees today. It's like 2 days before November.
Who
knows what will happen?
We're about 3 months away. Let's talk about this. I'm just going to put out there that the invitation to the Siyum Hashas in Florida said jackets optional. So if you do get hot, you can take off. You're even allowed to roll up. If it does get very hot,
you were going to say short sleeves off.
You are allowed to bring short sleeves. We're doing a full concert at the show after the Siyum Hashas, a full length hour-and-a-half show.
Wow.
With fireworks and pyrotechnics and all that Mishigas and that.
So you composed the song at the Siyum at this private
in honor of that Siyum. I sang it live at the Siyum and posted little snippets to Instagram, to which. Anyone that's not following me on Instagram, that is where it's all at. This is Had you been following me then, you would have heard this song a year and a half ago, and people were pushing me like crazy to really put the song out, and that is why it's out.
I was going to say, I don't see Yitzi Walden's name or Randy Hershkowitz's name here, so this was your executive decision to put your own track on. Or did you run this by the other two?
Every song on this album was my decision whether or not to put it on.
But I just mean you had other people to run it by.
I brought this song even before we started the production. It was, ready to go.
Of course, Shir Chadasha, we discussed that you got it from Yitzi Berry and Shlomi Zaltzman. This is your yeshivish song on the album. And then track 10, which is the one I'm excited to play for you guys today, Rise Up, which we said, of course. Yeah. So you announced 3 music videos, Simcha.
Yeah.
When are we going to see one, and what's it going to be?
There are 3 music videos coming out, 2 fast songs, 1 slow song. 2 of them are pretty much done. One of them we are...
The slow song's got to be the title track. We're not stupid.
Should I throw a curveball here and say it's going to have
to be the title track.
Antuzan? No, I'm joking.
No, it's going to be the title track.
That is correct. It will be Kol Hakavod. It was filmed in Israel.
So I saw you filmed.
August.
Were all 3 filmed in Israel? Or only 1 or
2 of them were filmed in Israel. One of them was filmed in my backyard. In Toms River, New Jersey.
So we're going to see the little plants growing in your little green area.
We'll see.
And are we going to see the mirrored stuff in your little shed there?
We'll see.
I don't want to give away any secrets. Simcha, I want to wish you much hatzlacha with the new album. I'm very excited that we got the first crack at you with discussing the new album.
Amazing.
I mean, people are loving it from what I understand. I'm looking.
Both people that bought it told me that they really appreciate it. No, guys, go out to the stores, talk about it, spread the word. We can't keep putting out albums without people talking about it and encouraging other people to go listen to it. This was a labor of love for me. I really enjoyed every aspect of it, besides when I stubbed my toe going in. But even that part, is enjoyable because I got a song out of it. And the most important thing to remember is that by supporting Jewish music, you're actually enabling more albums to keep being put out.
100%. So whether you're buying it online or you're buying it in the store, a hard copy, you need to go and buy it because
if you look at the hard copies, they're beautiful.
They are.
They're gold stamped. Every piece was handmade. These were done by hand, literally done by hand.
I've never seen this fold.
Yeah. It's this was a real.
And there's a personal note from Simcha on the album, which you're not going to get. It's not in the digital booklet.
Oh no? Oh cool. Yeah, that's true.
It's not in the digital booklet.
That is true.
What's this boombox about?
What's
this boombox about?
That's Simcha Leiner's private studio.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is the story.
Album in stores available through Niggin Music. That's right. Shirley Wurzberger, Simcha's neighbor in Thomas River.
And if you're in the Lakewood area and you saw the new Gourmet Glot, there's the biggest Simcha Leiner stand you've ever seen. I'm going to actually, right now, for those of you who are listening, both of Yossi's neighbors here that are listening.
Oh, there we go.
You can.
This is the way Thomas River people treat Lakewood people, okay? Like nobody's around.
Shh, it's the middle of the day. Everyone's in class. We're posting this live to the. You can check out the Instagram page and see the new Gourmet Glot display. We put up a huge display in the Gourmet Glot here. The new
Gourmet Glot
South.
In Siegel Square.
Check out.
How many times are you watching your own video?
I'm just posting it up. Let's. You got to make sure that everything is perfect.
I thought the new iPhones work faster.
It's the people behind the iPhones that are not necessarily so fast. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so did Morty get a new iPhone because you got one? Because I saw he got one the other day.
Morty got a new iPhone?
That's what. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He storied before to see what the difference was. I didn't see the difference though. Are you happy with your new iPhone, Simcha?
I think so.
Are you getting it engraved with your new logo and the Kol Hakavod thing? What do you say?
That's a good idea,
It is. We'll replace all the Apple logos on back with Simcha's headshot.
All right, guys, go check out the new display in Gourmet Glot. It's really cool.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Simcha Leiner with us in the